It was February at Westbury, and winter was put on pause for a few days of spring.
Ooh, it's muddy now. If I can make it down this hill without falling and getting myself full of mud. Just wanted to come down and see the creek as things are melting, and it's definitely higher. I mean, not anything high, but I wanted to see what it looks like because I also got this opened up over here except for that one tree that's going across. But there was a whole bunch of trees down at the bottom and I got that all cleaned out. So yeah, it's flowing nicely. So no idea why, but it is February 5th today and it's nearly 60 degrees. So although that might be a good thing to some people, I don't think it's supposed to be happening, so who knows. But I definitely am enjoying it, even though it was sunny earlier. It's getting kind of cloudy now, but I'm out here just checking some things out, riding the four-wheeler. A lot of fun.
As more clouds moved in that afternoon, the sun's rays peeked through little by little until we once again ended the evening with the glow of a beautiful sunset. The warm weather outside has given me a head start on some spring projects, like clearing some brush in preparation for another growing season. There's endless amounts of projects here, but this is the work that I love.
So here's where I started. Over here. This is what you told me you wanted before. As you said, you wanted a path from that trail down to this trail. But as I was going through here, what I was saying was that this is just so snarly.
Right.
That I don't know. I just wanted you to walk down here, and then if I leave this section, see whether you think you can pick off of it or if you just can't. So that's what I want.
Yeah, well...
Because see how these all are starting to...
No, I get what you're saying.
Grow like crazy. This whole trail will be
honestly,
covered.
The best thing I could do is figure out a little bit of a trellis system, but I don't know how easy that will be because you can't really get in there.
Over here, they're a little bit thicker. Like if I left you right in here.
Yeah, I mean, the only real difference is the ones down there are all falling over into the path. It's not different than over here. It's just...
Yeah.
But yeah, leave this.
So like this section I can leave for you and see what happens with it.
Because I'm going to be able to get at it at that side too, right?
Yeah, I'll probably just cut up to like maybe where that tree is, like just straight across, and then leave this.
I mean, obviously
in here.
We can't get into the middle of all this.
Yeah, because once this gets growing in the summer, you won't be able to go in there.
Can you just cut this path since there's kind of a deer trail there?
Yeah. Yep.
And that way I can do this side and I can at least go into here. I could do this corner.
I'll just make this like a square of stuff to keep.
Okay.
And then you can see what
like from here over to the...
To like...
Where is the second path? It's still over there.
Yeah, it's way down there. I had to cut, because right here I can't go straight through, so I had to go turn. Like the path is way over there.
Oh yeah, it's way over there.
Yeah, so I was only going to keep maybe from like here into this section and see what you thought.
Yeah.
I also continue to find new nooks and crannies on the land that I couldn't see before the brush was removed. This is a brand new spot that we hope to enjoy by the creek for many years to come. Joey is 15 years old, but you'd never know it most days.
You are a funny guy. Are you funny?
He loves the larger space in the shop and more room for fun and games. The usual snow of February was replaced with rain and sleet as we waited to see if winter would return. So today we have our flooring being delivered, at least it's supposed to be here in a few minutes. So I'm going down to prepare to try to figure out how we're going to get this thing off the truck. The only bad thing about having such a long driveway and sort of the setup that happened here is that when you have these big deliveries, semi-trucks aren't going to come up here. There's nowhere to turn around. They either have to back all the way up the driveway, which right now just not really a good idea with how soft everything is, or we have to go down there and figure out how to unload some stuff. So today I believe it's about 96 boxes of flooring, and this should be interesting. Can't wait over here until I can get this all figured out and it's not a mud mess like it is right now, because I need to get the skid steer out just in case we can use that to offload with the bucket. But, ooh, it's gonna be a muddy mess.
We'll all sleep good tonight.
That's right. Earn that beer.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a great weekend.
You too.
No doubt that was a workout, but we can't wait to show you the finished flooring in the coming weeks. The warm weather seemed to be here to stay as a friend and I began some tree trimming.
That hook actually does work.
Right? Once I figured out that it's there for something.
Nasty trees.
Yeah, they're despicable.
But you know when you do something and you know before it happens what's about to happen in the end, but you just for some reason do it anyway? That's exactly what I did today. As I drove down here, I noticed that these trails are really starting to soften up and the top layer is thawing out, but it's still frozen ground just a few inches underneath that. So it gets really slick on top, and I had a load in this green truck, and so since it's two-wheel drive, it's okay when you get some weight in the back, but as soon as I started to try to get up this hill to come back to the building, I quickly realized that was not going to happen, and I got a running start at it as much as I could, but I started spinning sideways, so I had to let off the gas, and now I'm stuck. So I'm gonna try the Can-Am first and see. The other problem with this truck is there's not really tow hooks on the front, so I'm gonna have to figure out a spot to try to hook it to. We'll see if the Can-Am can pull it, otherwise I will have to get the skid steer. I mean, it really shouldn't need all that much. It just needs something to pull on it while somebody else just gently puts some power on the tires, but can't feather it enough, and the tires are so full of mud right now.
Yeah, I saw you toying with it when we were walking up the hill.
So I was thinking just go around this axle right here.
Yeah, that looks like it's the best option. Drive us up?
No, I'll do it.
Okay. Good, because I don't want to.
So I have a decent amount of small engines and machines that go through quite a bit of gas to where I need to go to the gas station to fill up my gas cans. And when you live in a rural area, you have to travel a little bit more to do that. So I've been trying to find a good way of hauling these cans in the back of my truck. And I looked online for a few different scenarios and maybe some solutions, and there are some products out there, but I didn't really want to fabricate anything into my truck. So the other day when I was actually going through some pallets and tearing them apart, I noticed that actually I think this might be a good option for me. So if you get a fairly heavy pallet, now they're not all made the same, so you will have to go through some and find maybe a heavier one or one that has the right spacing for whatever gas can you're using. But I want to show you how this one that I found right here works for me and the gas cans that I use. So these are my favorite gas cans. They are called Sure cans. I've been using these for a very long time now. So I found the right spacing on this pallet to where I can put this thing in here right like this. It's absolutely perfect as far as the shape, and what I like about these is that they're sort of squared off here as well, so it works well for something like this. So now if you want to go the extra mile, even though this is pretty tight in here, you know, you can simply just connect the bungee to here and tighten this down, and you have yourself a solution for your gas cans. So like I said, you're probably gonna have to go through a few pallets to find one that's the right size, or you could just take one of these off and nail it exactly where you want to so that you have the right sizing. But if you get a heavy duty one of these that goes in the back of a truck, they don't really move around too much, especially if you have some coating on your bed or something that makes things stick in place better. So just wanted to show you that today. This is going to be my solution, I think, just to take my gas cans and make sure that they don't fall over in the truck bed.
One afternoon we had another special delivery, and this time it's my French doors that separate the larger studio from my control room studio. I've been looking forward to these for a long time.
Let's hope they're the right size.
I was back outside the end of the evening, but I could feel the weather was about to change.
So this bucket was actually not a tooth bucket. We did some makeshift stuff just to make it work temporarily, but I need to get the flat piece put back on here because underneath here, I'll try to get a shot of this, these actual bolts that go through were never completely flush, so I really can't take this on the driveway without scratching it all up. So I've been having a fiasco, of course, trying to find my tools, which are all over the place. And I think I have it to where I can take these off, and then it's going to be quite interesting to get that other flat steel piece back on here because of how heavy it is. So we'll see how it all goes.
How come you're not using the wrench?
Because it's too much power, I think.
Alright, come on, get up now.
We got those off of there. A couple of them were a little stripped, so you had to get a vice grip and just hold on to the bolt. But now I'm just trying to clean this off enough so I can get this flat cutting edge put back on. And that way, hopefully, I'll be able to clean some upcoming snow that's supposed to happen here. We're gonna see if it actually happens, but it's supposed to be maybe maybe a little bit more than 6 inches, so I just have to have this thing ready in case. Alright, now for the fun part, which I don't know how this is gonna go. So my thinking is this piece of steel over here, it's much too heavy to try to lift and hold up here. So I think what I'm gonna do is put a couple boards down, lay it down on there, and get a couple of bolts up through there and see if I can move the bucket down close enough that we can get them fastened. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but that's my thinking right now. So I'd like to get maybe this end one and the middle and the end on that side, so I'm going to get it close if I can. So I think they're pretty close to being lined up too, so I'm just gonna tip the bucket down, see if we can get it close enough that this is, I mean, you can lift this. So if we can get it through there, then we need to use, there's a square in here so it fits. There's nothing to grab onto on the bottom. It just has to go into the square. Then this should tighten.
Right there. Cross. Well, yeah.
Later that night, the snow returned and the winds howled as the world turned white once again.
So I just cleaned this area right here and onto the porch about less than 5 minutes ago, and it is almost covered again. It's coming down like crazy today. 60 degrees 4 days ago, and now today we have this. Welcome to the Midwest.
Inside the house, the trim work was nearing completion, and a few special touches to our bedroom were being installed as the snow fell outside.
Starting to get windier.
I've only been in this thing one other time to clear snow because it doesn't apparently snow here much anymore, at least not enough to warrant something like this. So last year I had one time. The interesting thing about gravel is that, especially right now when it's not frozen, is that it's just loose, and if we just go down the driveway and try to clear this thing, I'm just going to take all the gravel off of it. So it's kind of a pain, and I figured out last year that if I sort of just put it into float mode with the bucket and then tilt it up a little so that I'm not digging in, it sort of floats along and pushes the snow with it. So I'm going to try that again today, but I've only done this once, so we'll see what happens. So that's in float. Sink the bucket down. I didn't really get any stakes put out towards the bottom of the driveway, so I just have to sort of go off of memory, but you know, you drive this thing every day, you pretty much know where it is.
I had to make my way into town for an appointment during this snowstorm, so for all of you non-snow drivers out there, this might look a little scary. And I have no affiliation with these tires, but we recently got these, and they've been fantastic for the Palisade. Aggressive but quiet, and great in the snow or muddy conditions.
She has no fear. Bless you. It's as tall as she is.
As I've said many times before, there's always light after the storm passes. We inched closer and closer to Kelsey's canning kitchen being finished as the countertops were installed.
Canning kitchen countertops are in. So the guys came this morning and got these all installed. What we went with in here is a solid surface countertop. I went back and forth between butcher block, quartz. Finally, I settled on solid surface. And actually, price comparison wise, it's very similar to what quartz would have cost to put in here. Butcher block was going to be very expensive unless I did it myself. This material is non-porous, even to the point of being able to call it poreless. So it's very sanitary, antibacterial, will not stain. If it does scratch, this color print is all the way through the material, so we can just buff that down and the scratch will go away. Heat resistant, and so this is perfect for the canning that I'll be doing in here. I've been especially worried because the berries stain everything, so this makes me feel a lot better. And then as a bonus, they were kind enough to take the sink cutouts and make me a couple cutting boards. So I'm really excited to have these two as further protection on the countertops. So that was very kind of them to do that with the extra materials. We're gonna let this sit for 24 hours and he said I can start cooking. Now we're not quite there yet, but maybe.
Paint is up next and flooring shortly after. A dream is truly becoming a reality before our very eyes.